ever see an extra day off for the players, or an extra break for the players not playing Saturday? Is that going to help come tomorrow?
Well, when we put the fixtures together, we wanted a Friday night game in the business end of the season, which had a Tuesday game straight after for that reason. One, to get ahead of the fixtures hopefully, and two, to gain a small benefit in having an extra day. And I think in a league where the difference between success and failure is very fine, you try to plan to get as many advantages on your side as you can. So it won't win us the game at all, but it hopefully will give us a small advantage. We had a regeneration day on the Saturday, and then we've been in Sunday, Monday, so we've had 2 good preparation days going into the game.
Jason Shackle, how's he?
Yeah, good. Not as bad as we first feared. We're hopeful that he may be available tomorrow, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Is he one of those that you need to manage carefully, like Frank?
Well, they're 2 key players for us, so we certainly wouldn't like to go into the game without either of them, let alone both of them. They bring a wealth of experience. They set standards in terms of their performance, and also the type of players that get 5% out of the players around them. But obviously we're business end of the season now, so what we don't want to do is bring them back too early, and with the fear that we might lose them for the whole season. But no, we'll make a calculated decision come this time tomorrow.
Paul Scholes has been in charge for a while now at Oldham, just the one win since he took charge. Have they changed identity from when we played him at the back end last year?
Yeah, well, I think their forward players have changed. Obviously Sam Sobes went back to Bournemouth. It's been great to see him playing in the Premier League or coming off the bench for Bournemouth. Ishmael Miller went to Tranmere and then unfortunately got injured. So they've had slight personnel change in that area, and they've brought 1 or 2 in themselves. Paul Scholes is probably the best midfielder, or one of the best midfielders certainly of my generation. He would have had an unbelievable experience as a player, pretty much won everything possible to win in domestic and overseas club football. Had probably the best manager ever to come out of the British Isles in Alex Ferguson, as a mentor, and no doubt he would have gained invaluable experience from that. So no, we're expecting a very tough game. I watched them play Morecambe, and then I watched them again play Cambridge on Saturday, and yeah, they're trying to dominate the ball. They're building their play from the back. They've got some good ball handlers in midfield that are calm and composed in possession, and technically very good. They've got threat on both sides, and pace in forward areas, and definitely can control the game through possession and carry threat on counter attack as well. So it will be a tough game, like they all are. We've got to make sure that we find the same levels that we found on Friday night. We were pleased with our purpose and our intent in our play. We're expecting it to be another difficult night in terms of conditions. It looks like it's going to be pretty windy. We've got to try to decide which style will best suit us, will best suit our opponents, and will best suit the conditions.
Now I know you talk about the extra 0.5% that you try and find to get results. I don't think I've ever seen a manager tactically decide where to put the ball, boys, like you did on Friday. I noticed first half you were quite busy making sure they were in the right spots. Yeah,
again, you just look for the small margins, don't you? And we had actually briefed the boys, and we'd used quite a lot of our scholars. I weren't quite doing the job as well as I wanted to first half, so they got dressing down at half time and then did much better second half. And now it's we've always said, if we want to achieve what we want to achieve, it's a whole club effort, and they had a big part to play on the night, and they did better second half, and hopefully they can take that into tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Yeovil obviously try and take the sting out of the game, take time out of the game right from the start of the game. Do you think that clubs and teams are going to come to Sincil Bank and do that a lot more now as we enter the business end?
Potentially, and we respect that teams come and set up and have to decide what their game plan is going to be and find the best way for them to be effective. So we respect that. We know that statistically in the first half of the season at home we were averaging about 55.5 minutes in play time. We're now averaging in the second half of the season at home about 49 minutes in play time. So we know that the ball's not in play as much as it was, so that's quite a lot. 6 minutes makes quite a significant difference. So yeah, we're aware of that, but we're trying to find ways of controlling the tempo of the game ourselves. And like I said, I would never criticise any other team in terms of how they play. They've always got to find the best way to play with the players at their disposal, and we've got to be good enough if we want to achieve what we want to achieve of finding a way to beat that.
And just finally, I know you've had a number of different youth team prospects on the bench to cover the homegrown players rule. How important is it for them to experience a first team match day, do you think?
Well, I think it's a really good experience for them. I think it's a really good football experience and a really good life experience, and we've been pleased to be able to have John Smith and on Friday Carl Watkins on the bench. We had the choice once Lee picked up his injury of calling Ellis Chapman back, but we didn't think that would be the right decision. Obviously, with the law, they've got to have been, because it's a homegrown player. They've got to be with us for a year. So we've got people like Jordan Adebo-Smith or Tim Akinolu who don't count or don't meet the criteria, unfortunately. And we could have called Ellis back, but Ellis is doing fantastic at Chesterfield there. He's really enjoying the experience. It's been really valuable to him. We thank Chesterfield for the way they've looked after him, and I think they're very, very pleased with his performances for them. Certainly they've won quite a lot of games since he's been there, which has been good for everybody. And the choice was to call him back, but it would have been a really selfish decision to do that, because we've got, this is a really important stage in Ellis's career, and the objective at the start of the season was to try to get him 25 games of senior football, and we're at about the 20 game mark now with El. And as a 17/18 year old to play 25 first team games is in modern day football is an outstanding achievement, and we'll hold him in really good stead. So we're trying to take the long term approach.
Thank you.
Danny, with Freck, how far away do you think he is? Is he
close
to training at all? Or?
Yeah. We're hopeful that he'll be back for Monday night's game. But yeah, we just hopefully he'll be on the grass in the middle of this week.
Do you think he got on top of his injury?
Yeah, we've just built some strength. It's a tendon issue, and it's like all soft tissue injuries. The easiest ones to affect are the muscle, because they're the most pliable and the most easy to modify. Then ligaments become the next, and the tendons, because the fibrous nature of the tendon tissue can be more challenging. But yeah, no, we've done some really good work, and we feel like we've modified the tissue and strengthened the muscle around the tissue, and he'll be good to go middle of this week.